Okay, so I'm here with Dave now. You know Dave on YouTube as Sparky107107. And I've known Dave now for probably about 3 years, I would think, something like that, somewhere in that range. When did your basement flood, Dave?
It was about 2.5 years ago that happened.
Okay, so you've been commenting on my videos for at least 3 years then, because I
Oh yeah,
remembered, yeah, I remembered when your basement flooded. I knew who you were because you had been commenting on my videos on my channel for quite some time by that time. So welcome and thanks for joining me here. Uh,
thanks for calling.
yeah, good to see you. And normally I'm seeing you on these live streams, and I want to talk a little bit about the live streams because you've got quite a little cottage industry going there with your live streams. You have a good number of people streaming all the time.
Well, it's a lot of fun to do them anyway. So it seems to be a few more people come in each week. So
What prompted that whole thing?
hard to say actually. It's just one day I just threw on the camera and did the live stream, and I think I ended up with 30, 35 people in the room watching me. And a couple of people said, "Hey, we should do this all the time." And I said, "How about on Wednesdays?" So
Okay, so that's on every Wednesday at 7 then, right? 7 p.m. Eastern?
yeah, 7 p.m. Eastern.
Okay. Yeah, I know I'm usually sitting in here editing, and I for some reason YouTube doesn't always notify me when you start your stream, so I know I'll miss it a lot of the times or miss part of it.
Well, I always laugh when you come in because it's usually about 10 minutes left of my stream.
Right?
And you'll come in, it's like, "Hi, everybody." It's like, "Hey, TSG's here." "Hi, John, I'm just on my way out."
Yeah, well, it's just because I'm working, and I don't always see when it's coming up. So sorry about that.
Well, YouTube's getting a little bit better for it, too. But
Yeah.
the thing with being at 7 p.m. Eastern all the time, too, like every week I'm at 7 p.m. So even if YouTube's not notifying people, you kind of get into the habit of coming over to the show and
Sure.
hanging out. So
Yeah, it's like a TV show, right? Before VCRs, I remember those days.
what's a VCR?
Yeah. Well, I remember those days.
I could probably say beta.
I remember beta too.
Yeah, no kidding.
One of the things I've been finding really fun about doing live streams, and I've done some live streams too, as you know, is the interactivity of it. And I find yours to be really fun. And I think it has to do with you and the kind of things that you do. You're just trying stuff like last night, you were doing a waterfall. Well, I've never done a waterfall and I've never seen a waterfall done, but you showed a lot of different techniques, and I think that's pretty cool.
And honestly, John, even after last night, I can still sit back and say I have never done a waterfall.
Yeah, which is fine though, but you're sharing things and showing people that one, it's fun to try,
Yeah,
and it's expanding and it's promoting the hobby, which is something that a lot of people on YouTube are trying to do. So I think the way you're doing it is good.
yeah. The whole thing with my scenery that I'm doing on Wednesday nights now is a lot of people can put down their track, have a layout, but they're afraid to take the next step to start doing the scenery and the grass and the water and making it look like a, a real place, right?
Yeah.
So I'm just taking a lot of the basic things that you can do for scenery and show how basic and easy it really can be. Or in the case of the water and the waterfall, how hard it can actually be. So, but it's very intimidating to actually move to the next part of a layout. So
What I like
hopefully it
about it,
kind of breaks the ice for people.
sure, what I like about it, Dave, is that you have fun doing it and it shows.
Yeah.
So that's why I try to tune in anytime that I can.
Well, you got to have fun when you're there too. An hour is a long time to ask somebody to watch you talk or to show something. So the chat's got to be open for everything. There can be serious chats going on in there. There can be fun chats in there. You can't swear or anything, obviously, because my moderators will kind of take care of that too. But the whole point of the whole thing is just to come and have fun and hang out. So
Yeah. So you're also emphasizing the social aspect of the hobby because not everybody can come out to where you live, but anybody can turn on a computer like me from across not only the country, but from across two countries and the other coast even.
right.
So it works out really well.
Yeah, and one of the big things too is model railroading, even on YouTube, is starting to get to be a relatively large niche. So it's easy now to ask questions or to find it out there. And that's the one thing I also like about the live streams. There's always somebody in there that has done what you're trying to do. So even if you throw it in the chat, like you said, I was talking about water and waterfalls, but somebody could throw it in the chat that, oh, well, I'm trying to make a hill with some grass and some rocks on it. How would I do that? And somebody could say, hey, just do it this way, or check out my video later, or I've had videos on it, right? So the chat can take its own direction at the same time. So
Yeah, it's almost like having two shows at once, isn't it?
yeah, almost. But it's all about, it's community based, basically, right? I mean, everybody gets together, and A, you have fun, and B, if you can help somebody out, it feels really good to do that. So
Sure. So I go to have fun, to watch you having fun, and sometimes I learn something too, which is also a part of it. So
well, I know what you really, really come for, and I'm just going to give it to you now.
Uh-oh.
I know this is what you come for all the time.
Oh, right. That's the other thing. That, okay, so people watching are like, oh, what in the world is this?
Yeah, what just happened?
Yeah, in case you... now the costume is complete. In case you haven't watched Dave's live stream, talking to the audience here now.
You can't do this.
He puts on these wacky wigs and the glasses, and anytime somebody makes a donation on what's called the super chat, he has a little hockey light thing that comes on. That's really a lot of fun. And if you look in the picture, you can see the wigs hanging in the background.
Yeah, they're over this way.
And that's right. And that's something else that I want to talk about, because that goes to sort of the attitude I take with this stuff. I know you've watched my channel for a long time, and you've seen things like chasing trains.
Yeah.
You can't take yourself too seriously doing this stuff.
No, you can't.
You got to have fun with it, and that's one of the things that just cracks me up every time you have a new wig on. And
I'd love to throw some. You get in there and you're trying to do something so serious.
Yeah.
And people are paying attention. And you always get, I shouldn't say you always, but you're going to get one or two people in a live stream that go, hey, you're doing it wrong. Right? So I want to take those people they get used to it. So off to the side type thing, and I throw the wigs on. I got 4 different wigs, pair of glasses. I got a couple hats that I put on. And it just gets to the point where somebody wants to go, hey, I think you're doing that. What the ha ha ha, right? And then they're taking part, right?
Yeah, it's the old
now we're all
switcheroo trick.
So I don't do everything right on my live streams. A lot of times I'll come back and say this is how not to do something. But like I said, it's all about the community and just getting together and having fun.
It is. And something else that's cool about being able to share the wrong way to do it is you don't have to only see the right way to learn something, right?
Oh, that was another thing, again, with the waterfall, is you can go and watch a couple of people do the right way to do a waterfall, and that's great. It looks awesome, but when you try it the first time, it's not going to look like that.
Yeah.
I guarantee it. So I might as well show you a couple techniques on how to mess it up.
Yeah.
And then when you mess yours up, you're not the only one. There's no sense of quitting. Try it again. Try to do something else.
Sure.
I messed it up. I messed it up about 6 times last night on that show. So try again. And that's another thing. Like, it's okay to be wrong or mess something up. You just keep going at it, right? So
yeah, that's the best way to learn for some people, is to make mistakes, and you get up and dust yourself off and do it again.
I wake up every morning and keep trying.
Yeah, it's like that for me too, man.
Yeah, I'll get it right.
The struggle is real.
Yeah.
So I wanted to also talk to you about this event that you've been organizing, or why don't you talk about it a little bit, because I know a lot of the viewers of this channel are closer to, it's in Pennsylvania, right?
Yeah, Scranton, Pennsylvania. May 18th, we're going to go to Steamtown, and it's a Steamtown National Historic Site. Last year I went, and I just threw it out on YouTube that, hey, I'm going to Steamtown. Anybody want to show up, right? And I think I had 11 people last year. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to do that again this year and just throw it out on YouTube again and see what happens. And I think I've had over 100 to 150 responses. A couple larger channels have put out shout-outs to it, and a lot of their people are starting to go, hey, maybe I'll come and see you. It could be up to almost 200 people, and I'm just calling it kind of a YouTube meet and greet, because we get there at 8:30 is what I'm hoping. I'll sit in the parking lot until 9, 9:30, 10 o'clock. Everybody meets each other, and then cut you loose. You're on your own. So, like, it's not going to be an organized event, hopefully by any means, but that's starting to change, actually. So,
Yeah, don't you have something else going on where people are going to eat in a dining car or something like that? A preserved.
yeah, that's the Erie and Lackawanna Dining Car Preservation Society, and they've got a fully restored dining car, I think, from 1963 or 1965, and it's $75 per plate. And it's been out there for a couple of weeks. I've already got 32 people signed up to it, and that's at 4 o'clock on that Saturday. We're going to get together, and that's all it is. We'll all sit in this dining car, and we'll enjoy a meal together. And like I said, there's 48 people that can do this, so. But it's the money that we're raising for that. Like $75 sounds like a lot for a plate of food, but you consider out of that $75, you're also doing the cooks, the waiting staff, the people that are running the dining car, the diesel generators, locomotives. So you got all that other stuff. So actually, we're getting it very cheaply. And then on top of that, anything that's left over goes into their preservation society so they can restore more cars. So.
Yeah, and that's another thing that is probably worth mentioning is that a lot of these preservation societies, they're not big money makers. So if you go out, if I take my wife out here, it can easily cost $75. So just don't go out one other time that month, and it'll help preserve history too. So,
well, one of the things I'm looking at, John, is when you go out and you buy a locomotive, DCC and sounds, HO scale, you're looking $400, $500, $600. So you're doing that so you can run it on a layout. Well, why don't you come and spend some time with some other model railroaders and come $75 for a plate, hang out for a bit. But like I said, you're helping the real stuff. So if they preserve more cars, say, or a dining car, what's to say Walter someday doesn't go to them and say, hey, can I model your car, right?
right, and that'll give them some
Someday
great
you can sit
resources.
back and say, I helped with that.
Yeah.
So,
And it's also, again, sort of catering to the social aspect of the hobby that I think gets lost on a lot of people, especially if you're doing a lot of your stuff online like this.
yeah.
So I think it's really great, and something that I would mention, and it's something that I actually admire you for, which is the amount of organization that you're having to do in order to make all this stuff happen. I don't think people probably realize that or appreciate that the way that they should.
I didn't realize that when I first started this. And when I first said, okay, everybody, let's meet in Steamtown May 18th in the morning, I really thought that was it. That's all I had to do. Throw it out there on YouTube. Everybody meets, and it's going to be great. But I think the event, because of the size it is, and then I wanted to open up a couple extra locomotives at Steamtown, get access to the cabs and things like that. Now it's starting to cost a little bit of money on my side, plus organizing it is getting to be almost a part-time job. Like, because I'm from Ontario in Canada and calling Pennsylvania and trying to set things up, and at least there's no time lapse, right? Like, we're in the same time zone, but I was even talking to them today, and she's thinking, well, if you got 200 people coming, now we have to break these off into groups, and we have to open certain things at certain times, and we have to have the people to do it. And she's going over a couple of costs for me, and I said, you know what? I'm really hoping we can just tell everybody to go do what they want to do. Mm-hmm. And she's like, no, we're going to have to actually organize part of this. So just because of the size, to make everybody actually get to what they want to get to, or actually have the full enjoyment of the process. So Steamtown National Historic Site is a national park from the United States. So it's your National Parks Department, and they're funded by the government, so it's free to get into Steamtown. It doesn't cost anything, but they do have rides on the inside. They're called caboose rides. They have shuttles that go from one end of the yard to the other. They're $5 to $10 type thing. That's how they basically make their money, but they're pretty much fully funded by the government itself until you put on a big event like this.
Okay. Wow. Well, I can't even go, but I thank you for what you're doing, because it's giving people something to do, and it's a social thing that a lot of people might otherwise not have a chance to do. And I know that there are people coming from other countries even, right? Isn't Roy coming up from Panama? And
Yeah, you got one from Panama coming. I got a family from Germany coming. So far, I think there's about, I think 8, maybe 9 families from Canada coming down. So
Yeah, that's a lot of people.
yeah,
All right. Well, hey, that's really great, and I appreciate what you're doing, even though I can't go. One of these days, if you continue to make it sort of an annual thing, I'll probably get out there one of these days. So,
well, it's starting to sound like that's what people want as an annual thing. So hopefully, it gets easier every year.
yeah. Well, I think that if you get to know the people who run the facility,
Yeah,
and you can call them up and say, "Hey, I'm coming again," or whatever, they'll know what to do because they will have already done that before at some point.
yeah, for sure.
All
And
right.
the whole reason for picking Steamtown too is like they do restore steam locomotives. So they've got uh, Canada National, they've got Canadian Pacific, they've got was it the nickel plate they've got in there? Like altogether, I think the Roundhouse has about 10 locomotives, steam locomotives in it, and they're trying to fully restore them too. So, and they do that by the donations and people actually showing up there and spending the $5 to go on a caboose ride or the $10 to do the hop. So,
Yeah. I wonder if it would be worth it to them to make it an annual event and just put it on themselves. Do you know what I mean?
it might be something to talk to them about too. But
Yeah. Because, I mean, having a private party trying to organize all that stuff, it's got to be. I don't envy the amount of work that you're having to do just to make that thing happen. So,
like you said, if I do it yearly, it should get easier, right? So,
well, you know,
should's the key word.
theoretically.
Yeah.
All right. Well, so that's just to wrap this up. So that's on May 18th at Steamtown in Scranton, Pennsylvania. Meet at 8:30 in the parking lot and look for this guy.
And if you can find me, it sounds like there's going to be a lot of people. So
He'll be the one with the wig on, or surrounded by all the fangirls.
I'm not sure if I'm actually going to bring one of the wigs or not, but you never know. There might be a little surprise in there for you.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to be there, so don't bother with the wigs. You bring the wig when I'm there.
Oh, okay. Forget you then.
Yeah, right. So anyway, yeah, and the other thing I should mention once again, it's Sparky107107 here on YouTube, and you know, other than the live stream, I mean, you put up other videos too. I do see notifications. So Dave has a lot of really neat stuff on his channel. It's fun stuff, you know. It's probably not, I would say probably not as serious as a lot of the things that I try to do, but the important thing is you're having fun doing things and you're bringing smiles to people, and that's really
thanks.
great.
Well, I'm trying to take after you with your chasing trains and how much fun you guys have. So
Oh, well, I don't know.
I just do it without like the 5 cups of coffee.
Oh, that's not even true. I'm not addicted to coffee. People know that's just a joke.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Edit. Edit.
All right. Well, we'll wrap this up. Thanks again for sitting down with me and having this chat. And
Oh, it's been a blast.
yeah, I'm hoping that speaking of chasing trains, maybe we'll get to do some of that sometime this year. Hopefully, we'll see. Or there might be some more to talk about there later on.
Someday I got to get over there someday. So
Yeah. All right.
I hear it's
Dave.
warm in California. So
Yeah, it's a great place, and we need more nice people here. So you can come anytime.
yeah, and I'll just wait for like midsummer before I do it.
Sure. Yeah. Wait until it's hot. That's always good.
Yeah, why not?
All right, Dave. Thanks again. We'll talk to you soon.
All right, John. We'll talk to you later.
All right. And now back to me in the studio.